Hi, everyone. Welcome to my live. It's a Sherry Wright. 1 year in business. Awesome. And also just celebrating you with a couple of free readings. All right. So I'm still getting set up here. This is my first live. So bear with me when you get in here. I'm kind of looking around here. Set an option to share screen. I'm not completely sure about that. But if I start seeing anything in chat, I'll go ahead and I think I'll see that and I'll be able to start talking to you. All right, so the intent here is for this to be a portal to tarot wisdom for you, some energy alignment, and intuitive connection. And also for this August live, I do want to do some flashcard readings for you. But while I'm waiting for people to come in here, since you should be able to watch the replay, if I'm not wrong about that, then at least you'll be able to see this next portion. Okay, so let's see. You turn on my little light here so I'll know how much time has passed. Okay, so I'm going to do two different layouts. And we're going to go over what you'll need to start focusing on for your lives. And I'm going to switch it up a little bit different here. I had a different plan, but I'm also trying to be a little bit, loose and not too planned. All right, so I'm going to be, showing a little bit of the playing cards that I do. And I think a lot of you like those in the Oracle card shorts that I do. All right, so we're going to be using the playing cards, and also I'm going to be using some other, oracle cards that I have here on the side until we get some more people in here. All right, so all right, let's go and look at this. What else I have here? A couple things I wanted to do. I'm gonna do a couple shout outs later on in the live. It's businesses I want to mention, and also some surprise I want to mention to you. There's a lot of new things that I have on my website, and of course, the intention is not to sell to you during this live, but I do want to let you know. And how else I'm going to let you know if I don't tell you, right? All right. Okay, so let's see what we have. Let me go ahead and shuffle this one more time. All right, so what we got to focus on? Yeah, but there's a lot going on in the world right now, right? Recently, we're looking at the elements of fire. Fire's going in the world, but the elements of earth, earthquakes. We've got, the element of wind, and we've got the element of water. There being some devastating, floods around the world, right? Yeah, so the way I want to tell you how to handle some of that is to, again, try to focus on something that you would want. We're not used to uh, affecting Mother Nature. We're not used to affecting how things happen in the world. Usually we're sitting back and we're waiting, for a few moments. I had to catch myself. I was doing the same thing as well. Like we're waiting to see if there's going to be a tsunami hitting something instead of focusing on the positive and, not be disappointed that, oh my gosh, nothing happened. What were we doing here? But just focusing on the safety of everyone, focusing on everyone, getting through it safely. Focus on the elements themselves. I did that myself. It doesn't have to be a big, elaborate ceremony or anything like that, but just focus on talking to the elements, either in your head or audibly, for them to work together. I did that. And imagine this, when I did that, I heard, one of my, spirit team members telling me it's working. Yeah. So just something simple. Basically, I lit a candle, my altar, and I was like, well, I mentioned, fire, earth, wind, air, and water to work together. And I sent love to them, and I actually visualized, love going to them, actually in the shape of a heart going to them, and getting that confirmation that it was actually working. That really, it's kind of strengthened my belief that what I'm doing is it's something that's helping, you know everyone on the earth. Yeah. So don't start to doubt yourself and whatever your beliefs are, anything you may be doing, just continue on, especially if it's coming from the heart. Trust your intentions. Trust your intentions. Okay, I'm shuffling these cards over here. All right, it's got to shuffle again. All right, so my first card, what I want to tell you to focus on, we're going to be using playing cards, remember, and next we're going to be the oracle cards that I have over here. All right, and a couple of shuffling going on. All right, I'm using a little bit of format, different from what I normally do. Normally, yes, my first live. All right, so let's lay out my focus card. All right. I'm going over a few, just using a fewer cards than I normally do. All right, so not to make you wait. All right, so what are we focusing on? All right, so interesting. I did a reading for someone yesterday and the same card came out. So this is wonderful that it's coming out again. All right, so what are we looking at for your focus, your core thing that you need to look at? Okay, so when you see these cards here, and hopefully you can see these. All right, so first we're gonna go over this one. All right, so for this one, we're focusing on the element of fire. Now, of course, you can look at it in two different ways. Fire can be very destructive. All right, so but also fire represents new growth, and if you can imagine when forests get leveled, get burned down, what happens after that? New growth. New growth. You see green leaves growing. So symbolically, it's telling you sometimes you have to let go of the old in order to get something new. So this is what you are to be focusing on right now. Focus on what you want to be in your life, which is what that number 7 is telling you there. And it's going to bring in some harmony. Bring in harmony, it's going to bring in opportunities, it's going to bring in, more experiences, more lessons for you to grow from. And a lot of times in life, if you do not pay attention to those lessons that come through in your life, you tend to repeat them, right? So you've got to be aware of them consciously. You got to be aware of them. A lot of your information comes to you from different forms. It might be the sign on someone's shirt. It might be something you see on TV. It could be something that you're passing by someone in a grocery store or a shopping mall and they're saying something, a short phrase that's meant for you. So if something kind of hits you and you're like, that sounds interesting, that sounds familiar, that first thought, that is your intuition. It is telling you that message is coming to you from a spirit team member, from an ancestor, however you want to look at it, or from divine creator. It is a message specifically for you. So this is what you're supposed to be focused on, bringing to you what you want. Okay, so if we look at the example of the elements, the 4 elements, and if we focus too much on the devastation that they bring to us, guess what is coming? That devastation. If we are focusing on, more money and a promotion and a job, if we're focusing on, that refund we're supposed to get, and we keep thinking, oh my gosh, it's not going to come, it's not going to come. Guess what you're bringing? You are building up that energy, which you don't want. So let's get in the practice of letting go of those things that we don't want and focus more on what we want. All right, so this brings opportunities. Remember, this is all about the core energies of what you need to be focused on right now in your life, that core. And guess what? The image we have with that one, our oracle card. Now, this is talking about the dragonfly. Now, the dragonfly is all about transformation. It's all about transformation. See, it says lighthearted and adapt. All about changing. You got to be flexible. All right. Finding out and change things, coming to light and heal. So if you don't let those things go, how are you going to heal? Doesn't it make perfect sense? Now, if you saw my thumbnail on here, it talks about synchronicities. And this is what I'm talking about when I do 2 different decks. We are talking about synchronicities. Yes, I've done this with 2 different tarot card decks. I've done this with 2 different oracle card decks. It's amazing how the message from spirit will get to you. All right, so that is what you need to be focused on. That's your core of your life right now. Okay, now, so with that, remember in life, focus on the smallest to the largest celebrations, your wins. You know, the purpose of my live today, celebrate. Focus on those wins in your life. You got to focus on that. So, there is, again, from the smallest to the largest, it could be, a flower you see on your walk. Stop and look at that flower. Pay attention to it. If you are building your own website, you found the perfect logo for your website. Something I recently, after a year, finally decided on something and really super love it. But using an example for you, you find that perfect thing, even that small thing, which is part of a bigger picture. Celebrate that as a win. Pat yourself on the back. You got to be your biggest cheerleader sometimes. So you got to remember that. All right, so let's look at what the cards are telling us to celebrate our wins. All right, so we're going to look at that. Oh my goodness, imagine what I was just saying to you. Celebrate your wins. I was just talking about the big picture, right? Okay, so this says picture. What did I tell you? I am intuitive. All right, so if you're looking at the bigger picture, and you're celebrating your wins, when you get the small pieces, pay attention to them, right? All right, so picture, looking at pictures, missing you, nostalgia, making new memories. All right, so you're going to build on each of those wins. And one small win leads to another one, right? Okay, all right, so celebrating our wins. All right, so all of those opportunities that come to us, we're still in the same element, fire. So all of those elements that come to us, those opportunities that come to us, to celebrate those wins, we don't always know what they're going to look like. We're going to be trying to have expectations, but that's where you can kind of mess up when you start having those expectations. So we can have, the universe, double number 4. We got an 8 here, which is telling us about celebrating those wins. This is where you have that safety and that stability. Celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins, no matter how big or small they are. Those are opportunities, no matter how they come to you. Whether you are walking and you find a penny on the ground, and let's say maybe you lost some money and you're trying to get it back. Maybe you got scammed, So that's happened to me before. I want to admit, it happened to me before. This was a few years ago, became picky about how the money was coming back to me. And of course, you get different ideas. Maybe you want to go and you want to do surveys, which sometimes are pennies, sometimes a couple of dollars. But the idea came to you for a reason. And of course, with those pennies or dollars, imagine that money is actually coming back to you in that format. Yeah, you're going to put a little bit of work to get it, but just be open. And that's the key. Stay open to how it's coming back to you. Celebrate those wins. And you can't be too choosy on how you get them or how you receive them. All right. Now we're going to look at what are you supposed to do? All right. So you're going to be focusing, you're going to be celebrating your wins. What actions are you supposed to be taking right now? What are you supposed to be doing? What are you supposed to be? How are you supposed to make all this happen? All right. So let's look at that. All right. So this is interesting that I've kind of gone on into that a little bit. Again, synchronicities. All right, so this card says you're going to do that by blowing a kiss. Now, I'll interpret this for you. Again, keep your heart open to what you receive. All right, so this is what action you're supposed to take. You got to keep your heart open. You've got to present your self and your life with positivity and with peaceful responses, right? Because sometimes in life we see things like on TV, you might see something, we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, or someone calling you and you're like, no, I don't want you talking about any of that. And it's all kind of conversations, right? Pause before you say any of that. Pause before you react with any of that. Blowing a kiss. All right. Unconditional love, giving and receiving fairness and love, affection returned. Be open to love, or stay open to love and respond with love. there's a quick phrase for you, a mantra to remember how you're supposed to get this, what you're supposed to do, what actions you're supposed to take. Stay open to love and respond with love. All right. And let's look at the playing card that came with this. And look, we've got a trend. There's a trend for you with the playing cards. Again, we're looking at fire, a lot of fire energy, fire, active, action. And we've got a number 10. So, how are you supposed to do this? Now, with this 10 and fire energy and opportunities, this is telling you, look, with the number 10, this is going to get really heavy in everything you want to accomplish in your life, right? You start getting busy, 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 busy. The key is you've got to slow down a little bit. And don't be surprised next if you get into the same information I'm saying in the cards that I'm waiting to show you next. All right, so this 10 represents a lot that's going to be on your shoulders, but you have to tell yourself and stay determined in what you want to accomplish in your life. Stay with it. Stay with that goal. You can accomplish it. Just stay with it. All right. And I'm going to break it down a little bit more when you see the number 10. When you see the number 10, and I know you can do this, look at that one. The one, and let's see, the one is representative of new beginnings. And the 0 is representative of you starting a new journey, like the full card in the tarot deck. And it's interesting, if you break these numbers down that way, starting a new journey, new beginning, then you've got to be open to that. But you got to continue on and push forward, and don't give up on what your dreams are, on what you want to accomplish. If you want that new job, if you want to travel somewhere, but make sure you come up with a plan for it. Create a plan, look at it, analyze it, and then go ahead, push forward and do it. And remember that you're always going to have the support that you need to get that done. Just trust in yourself, trust in that divine energy that is with you. Trust in it. That is how you do it. Again, we've got some heavy fire energy in this layout. I'm fascinated by this. All right, so what is your message from Spirit that I'm doing in this layout? All right, message from Spirit. All right, so let's look at this. You got to be prepared for some changes. Yeah, and look at this. Now, this says shock on this card. All right, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, and epiphany, transformation. The dragonfly that I showed you and what you need to focus on also means a message of transformation. Remember, nature, animals, birds, feathers, ants, whatever you see, geckos, lizards. If you see some odd thing, a goat in the road where you're passing, everything means everything. They all mean something. They're all a message to you. All right. How are you supposed to know? Again, if you want to ask yourself that question, why is this important? Which I've just started doing with my dreams. Why is this important? Because I've gotten a lot more, you've got to always be open to try to evolve yourself and learn a little bit more. Start asking, why is that thing important? Why is this message important? Why is this person in my life? What's the reason? Why is it important? All right. So this is to tell you that we're going through a lot of changes. And when I started the live, I started, talking to you about, the different elements in the world and everything that's been going on, not for you to focus on the devastation, but for you to focus on why is this important? Why is it happening? You can do something about it. All right. So this is Spirit letting you know there's going to be some sudden changes in your life. There are changes happening inside you internally. Remember, what's inside here, whether you're focusing on peace or destruction, is what's going to be reflected outside of you externally. And when we're talking about internal and external, wow, another club, another fire card, which this card, like all the others, reflects external. There's a lot of external energy here. And I did not pick these cards. I shuffled them and I laid them out. A lot of external energy. So just remember, external energy that's coming to you, you don't have to immediately react to it in a certain way or negatively. Just make sure you spend some time meditating. Make sure you spend some time looking up at the sky at night. These things are going to help rebalance your energy. Spend some time out with trees around you. Spend some time grounding. Spend some time walking outside barefoot. Spend some time sitting quietly for 5 minutes and just let everything go. Take a shower, take a bath, is whatever you're able to do, use that time. Okay, advice from the spirit here. Okay, it's just letting you know. And both of these cards are talking about change. If you see that, it says sudden change. And number 9 is also for change. Yeah, no mistaking this. There's going to be some sudden changes in your life. Now, a lot of this you're being notified through the news. I know I don't really watch news that much more anymore. There's a lot of alternative out there. I'm on YouTube watching different channels that are there. I'm watching a solar activity. Just so you have to think of other ways. And why? Why am I doing that? And why are you doing that? Is if you are left feeling a negative kind of feeling, no matter what you're watching, and not just with the news or media, think twice of if I'm feeling this way, if you're feeling a certain way. Let's say if it's a movie that's showing certain images, stop and ask yourself, why are you feeling that way? What's going on? Maybe you need to make a change. Yeah. But you can prepare yourself, as they said, prepare yourself by, doing more meditation, by reflecting and preparing how you're going to react to these things. Or getting to a point where you don't react at all and you're just observing them. You're just observing them. So let me read this again. Advice from Spirit. Expect soon. And some of you are already aware, light workers, healers, those of you that are awakening already, and those of you, some people might call asleep if you're not aware of some of this information that I'm telling you. Please take what resonates and just leave the rest. Always take what resonates. Use discernment in anything you hear or see anywhere, okay? All right, so expect some sudden changes, some shocking news, surprise, and epiphanies, and transformation. Remember the dragonfly. There are going to be some changes that are going to be coming. All right. So the final result, once you do all of this, all of these external things that are coming at you, this is for you to focus on your life right now. And remember at the very end, we're going to be looking at, so the energies for the month of August. You're going to be doing some tarot for that. All right. So what's the final outcome here? Before we're going to do that, we're going to do a quick shout out and give you some more news. All right. So final outcome of you doing all of this. And guess what? I love these playing cards. Okay. Again, we've got external energy. Once you go through all of those, that fire energy, the opportunities that are coming at you, and you learn how to deal with them, guess what? The spade is similar to the sword, and that you will then have mental clarity. Yes, mental clarity. And again, with the queen, we're looking at balance and truth in your life. Mental clarity. You're going to know what to expect. You're going to be ready for what's coming at you, and you're not going to get tripped up over the normal, chaos that's going on in the world, because you're ready for it. You're familiar. You know what you need to do. You know you can carry all this that's going on, and you know that, again, you can leave it. You don't have to take it. You are a spiritual being having this physical human experience, and you don't have to believe everything that you see on TV or in the world, everything that you hear. This is to give you, remember, some tarot wisdom, some energy alignment, and intuitive connection. That is the purpose of this live. All right. Of course, to celebrate 1 year, but also to celebrate you and your support of my channel. Really, again, thank you so very much. Thank you for being here today. All right. And let's look at what is the final outcome of you doing all of this? Now, I've got to explain this one. Okay, this says old school. Wow, what's the final outcome? Old school. All right, so you're not, and look, I can see the similarity what I'm just saying. You're not in school anymore because you've learned, you've grown, you've evolved. So old school, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events, over in your head. Wow, what did I tell you? I say the information, and then look, it's in the card already. Wow. All right. So again, you're replaying things because you've learned how, and with all of the clubs that we've had, wow, all the clubs that we've had, which give you those experiences of lesson and the growth. You're replaying those events because you're looking at how did I react to it last time? And this is how I'm going to react to it this time, or not react at all because I've learned that I'm just going to observe this situation, right? Okay. So, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head, old school. It reminds me of something else. It's like, look, you fooled me before, but you're not going to fool me again. I've already learned. So that's your final outcome. That is amazing. All right. So what we're going to do now, let's see. Housekeeping. Wow, that's interesting. That popped into my head. Housekeeping. All right. So remember at the beginning of the live, I said that I did a giveaway. I surely did. It was for a full free reading. Number this channel at Spiritual Tarot Journey. Yes, I already notified the winner yesterday. Already did the free reading, and occasionally I'll do that again. So just please be on the lookout for announcements on the YouTube channel shorts and also my website, which is wright-guides.com. All right. And let's see, you got a shout out that I need to do. There is for this. I'm working on your spiritual mind and uplifting you and giving you tarot wisdom and energy alignment. For those of you that love to do physical workouts, I want you to please check out the channel Casual Fitness Seekers. Casual Fitness Seekers. They also do a couple of giveaways over there as well, different workouts, equipment, and materials that you can use to improve your workout. So that's Casual Fitness Seekers. Check them out. All right. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to subscriber. I forgot to grab that this time. But for new subscribers, when you subscribe, I'm going to be giving a shout out to you during the lives as well. So go, please, if you got a channel, that's what I want to start doing and giving back. We've got to help each other out, right? We've got to help each other out with our lives, with our channels. All right. And also, I want to tell you about the new coupons that I'm giving out on my website. And let me go ahead, and if you're lucky enough to see this on a replay, put the word replay in the comments so I'll know that's how you're watching it. And let me go ahead and give you the coupon code so you can get a percentage off one of the readings. Coupon code is gratitude guidance. All right, but when you write that in, leave the CE off in the end. Okay, make sure you leave that off on the very bottom. So let me write this gratitude. Yeah, you got to leave the CE off the end so that you can get the discount. So you're actually going to be putting this in gratitude guidance. All right. So you go to my website, it will work. Okay. No space between the two words. Okay. What else did I want to announce here? Okay, we're done. Next, we're going to do the energy updates for the month of August. Okay, and thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. Remember, put replay in the comments if you're watching us on the replay. All right. It's so exciting to be in business for a year. And just a quick note to new business owners out there recruiting something new. Trust in your vision of what you want to have. There's going to be so many different, you'll get offers and telemarketers calling you, emailing you. Hold strong, hold fast. You can do it. You can do it. I started off thinking that I was going to be I'm going to use all the free stuff that I possibly can. And I did. And of course I did. I fell into the little hole of, well, I'm going to do some ads. I did some here and there. But make sure, number one, make sure that you make sure that you constantly keep updating at your website, and make sure that you get your profile out there for whichever search engine you decide to use. Okay, so let me get the deck shuffled so that I can show you the energy updates Let's see the energy around August. All right. Got this beautiful, beautiful new deck. It's got gold foil on the sides. I love it. I love it so much. All right, so I'm going to pull out two cards here. All right. And then you're going to see the energy update on my website as well. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of them when we get finished here and show you that. Okay, for the month of August. All right. Okay, and we got two cards for that. Okay. All right, so interesting. We got a major arcana card, the energy around August. Okay, let me, so I can record this so I don't have to do this twice. Okay, just recording what I'm saying so I don't have to do it twice. All right. Okay, so interesting. All right, so the energy around the month of August. So you look at this, we've got the world card. Aren't these cards beautiful? Okay, we should have the box over here and I can tell you what it was from. But actually, I think I can. All right, so yeah, this is beautiful. Okay, this is for a wise spell and some wild reflections tarot deck. Oh, it's really beautiful. Okay. All right. Yeah, Spirit said, use the gold foil. Really, I get my notifications, the clairsentience was rocking. Okay, so the energy around August, this is beautiful. So the world card is telling you, even with the number that's up here, is that there's going to be a lot of new opportunities for you to birth what you want to have for the month. And if you go back to what I told you to focus on, it's a lot of the similar things that you're supposed to do as well from what you need to focus. Yeah. Okay. Dragonfly transformation. Okay. All right. So we got the world card. When you've got the world, then you've got literally the whole world. And if you want to look at it, you don't want to look at determining everything too literally. But I want to focus on this symbolically, with what's going on with Gaia, with the earth, and with all this transformation and ascension that is going on right now. So the world, it is up to you to create your own reality. So try to stay positive and focus on what you want because this is the energy for now. And there is a portal that's open right now. I can't remember if it's the Lion's Gate, but there's a gate of transformation that's open right now that's providing a lot of energy for you right now. So just enjoy it, be comfortable, and be in joy. Okay. And share your joy with others. That energy is just going to emanate from you to others and actually may feel like a shock to others. And you're touching them wherever you go. And you can kind of imagine your energy extending 3.5 feet around you, your etheric field, and pushing that out even further to help each other lift up and align more with these new energies. Okay. All right. And what is going to be the final outcome of all of this? Interesting. Okay. So the final outcome of all these energies for the month of August. In this one, we've got the Page of Wands. All right. So if we look at the page, the pages normally represent, no, it is a court card. The pages there, they're not as well versed as the king and the queen. But if you look at this, it is representing again a new beginning. Remember the dragon? Remember the dragonfly? The dragonfly, yes. There's still fire energy, right? There's a reason. The dragon is called dragonfly. Okay. Or vice versa. That energy for new beginnings. Yeah. So the page is the new beginning. This is more of like a look, we're letting you know, we're giving you a heads up that this is coming. Guess what? Oh my gosh. The wand. Remember the clubs? Same energy, fire energy. Again, clubs are fire, wands are fire. Opportunity, number, experience, lesson, and growth. I can't, I don't make this up. I just shuffle and I lay the cards out. It's so synchronistic, so timely. It's just so perfect. All right, so just remember for the month of August, Focus on all those new beginnings, whatever it is that you want, even if you have to make a note and write it down and put it beside your bed before you go to sleep. And you wake up with an answer the next day. When you wake up in the morning, if you normally feel like you don't want to get up, stay in bed a little bit longer and focus on what you want. Even if you have to put a picture by your bed of a heart or picture of a home that you want to buy, whatever it is, you can change your reality. Please remember, I told you that. Okay, so the month of August, the world is at your feet. The world is being presented to you for the month of August. And the final result is you just having all these opportunities for new growth being presented to you. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So, again, thank you so much. Welcome again to my channel. Please subscribe and like and comment. And again, if you're watching a replay, please put the word replay in the comments. My name is Sherry Wright of Wright Guys LLC. Have a wonderful day, an amazing weekend. And I'd love to share this and do this with you again. And thank you so much for joining me for my first live 2025. Wow, thank you so much. All right. Bye.